If all Bible prophecy is supposed to be allegorical, and, you know, we don't actually know what anything means, and we have to debate what allegory everything is, and every time it says something, it never means what it says, then why is it actually physically happening, right? When you have Ezekiel 36:24, Isaiah 11:12, Jeremiah says it, where God's going to gather in the latter years, I will gather my people Israel from all the nations where you've been scattered. Then I'm going to bring you back to your natural land, and it's going to be called Israel. It's going to be a desert, but it's going to start to blossom like a rose and be cultivated, and everyone's going to be like, wow, this is amazing. It's exactly what happened. Why is exactly what God said was going to happen happening if everything is allegorical? When we look at the first advent, by the way, we see very specific, detailed prophecies. Let's talk about the prophecy of 490 years, right? Prophecy of 70 weeks, Daniel chapter 9. For us to pretend that prophecy is not accurate, when we looked at the first advent, we see all these very, very detailed, accurate prophecies. We could look at Isaiah 53, Again, very detailed, specific prophecies. The prophecy of the virgin birth, prophecies be born in Bethlehem. I think that's Micah 5 or something. And all these are literal, actual prophecies. We all agree on that. And then all of a sudden there's eschaton and the Olivet Discourse and the book of Revelation and anything that hasn't happened yet. And all those are allegorical. They don't ever mean what they say. Oh, Jesus will come here and physically all nations will tremble. That doesn't mean that. It means that there was a war, a localized war, where Titus sacked Jerusalem. No, because we're the generation that is watching these things unfold. And the generation that starts watching them, by the way, will by no means pass until all things have been fulfilled. And that's Luke 21, verse 32. Matthew 24 says it as well. So we are that final generation. We're in an exciting time. We get to watch all these, as you can see, we're watching them. It's not just like, oh, there's COVID, that's the only. No, it's all of it. You're going to see ethnic group against ethnic group. I wish we didn't see that, by the way. But that is one of the signs that Jesus gave. Luke chapter 21, verse 10, where it says nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and it's actually ethnos against ethnos. Now, are we seeing ethnic division worldwide? Absolutely we are. The riots of 2020 were the most expensive and extensive riots of all time human history that we know of. The amount of insurance claims surpassed by far anything that we've ever seen, by far the 60s or anything in LA or anything like that. So what is that? Ethnos against ethnos. What are we seeing over in the Middle East right now? Ethnos against ethnos. All over the world we're seeing this ethnic, this person hates this person because they're a colonizer. This person hates this person because they're, whatever they are. It's an ethnic, divisive culture that we're watching. That's one of the signs of the end times. What else are you going to see? You're going to see earthquakes, great earthquakes in various places. We've always had those. But the deadliest decade for earthquakes is 2000 to 2010, and it's not really that close. In all-time human history, that's the deadliest 10-year period for earthquakes. But that's not all. That's you'll see in Luke 21:25, the sea and the waves will be roaring. A lot of the hurricane records are in the last decade. But not only that, the tsunami that we saw in 2004 was the deadliest oceanic activity that we've seen in all-time human history. And again, it's not close. That killed almost 300,000 people. The second deadliest is about 50,000, and it's way back there. I mean, you got to go back to like 500 years prior. I mean, it's a gap there. Every single sign that you could see, the rebirth of Israel, all the nations gathering together against Israel, wanting to, pivot towards the destruction of Israel. That's Zechariah chapter 12, verse 2 and 3, Joel chapter 3, 2. You just see this Psalm 83, come let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel will be remembered no more. Again, that's exactly the cry that you see there. The desolate land will blossom like a rose, rather. Ezekiel 36 talks about this. It's just all these things are happening in conjunction with one another in a way that you could never have predicted unless you were a divine being documenting this in the Holy Manuscript. And that's what we see. That's what we see today. So, again, the reformers had excuses. You don't have any excuse. This is something that you're supposed to over and over 7 times in the New Testament it says, watch therefore. It says something to the effect of watch when it's talking about end times prophecy. You're actually commanded to watch by the Lord Jesus Christ and by Paul when it comes to end times prophecy. Not to ignore or allegorize or pretend it's not real. No, you're actually commanded to watch. And when you see all these things happening, you can lift up your head because your redemption draws near. So there's going to be a rapture where people are eating and drinking and marrying and being given in marriage and all this, and the world's just continuing, and then boom, some people just vanish. And that's Revelation 3:10 and Luke 21:36, specifically in the received text, though. The critical text actually disagrees with me on that. That's a whole other topic. But anyway, so appreciate your time. God bless you guys. Take care.